All right, guys, welcome back to the Play On podcast. This is episode 55 with your hosts Jerry and Jesse. And Champions League is back this week.
Yeah, and we're gonna get started right away. First match, at least we have in our books, both matches start at the exact same time, 2 p.m. Central. It's Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Um, both teams are another one's too hot in form, but yeah, it's gonna be one of the most interesting well, I think all these matches are interesting, but yeah, to start it off, it's gonna be pretty hot. I can't remember the last time these two teams faced actually in the Champions League.
I think the last time was like 2007, 2008. It was when it was before Thierry Henry went to Barca. I remember it was like a 1-0 match. I think he got the winner. If I remember correctly, it was a while ago. Besides, I can't remember anything else.
Yeah, and it's Jesse's probably biggest match of the season.
Yeah, this is one that we can't lose because it'll break my heart. It'll break
Yeah.
my heart
And
because
Jesse has a
it's
little bit of a rant before we get started with that rant. But yeah, just to go over Arsenal a little bit, they tied this past weekend against Everton. Midweek, I forget the scoreline. I think they won. Um
uh
and yeah, and this in the weekend they rested a majority of their key players like Odegaard, Saka definitely he played midweek, but he didn't play in the weekend match. Um
yeah, they beat Fulham 2-1 and then
mhm.
1-1 against Everton.
So yeah, they got a decent rotation in, especially for this match because it's a huge match, especially in the Emirates. They're gonna try to come out on top, but yeah, Real Madrid doesn't seem to be the case for them. They didn't make too many rotations this past weekend because it was a bad week. They got through the Super Copa, not Super Copa.
Copa del Rey.
They got through the Copa del Rey final, but with like they had to play extra times.
Yeah, it's 120 minutes. Same lineup, no rotations, and then this weekend again, same line, pretty much the same lineup, no rotations. I uh I just want to call out a couple people from Real Madrid because, I'm a Real Madrid fan and I defend them as much as I can. But it's been so long that these people have just been doing so wrong that I can't defend them anymore. Like Ancelotti, my this has been always my biggest problem with him, and I think a majority of Real Madrid fans is the man does not rotate at all. Jude Bellingham, after playing 120 minutes against Real Sociedad, instead of giving him a rest against Valencia, what does he do? He starts him and lets him play the majority of the match. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with this man? And then, like, this was the perfect opportunity to have Arda Güler and Endrick play some minutes because throughout the season, they haven't gotten any game time, and it's been such a massive problem because we're playing like 80 games this year. And instead of rotating and giving times players for, to rest and be fine for the end of the season when, every match matters, he hasn't done that at all and has led to injuries on a couple occasions. Like Rudiger was playing every minute, uh, Valverde was playing every minute, and they both ended up getting injuries that could have probably been avoided if they would have been rested. But no, this man decides to not do that at all. And then Vinny. This man, after the Ballon d'Oro situation, he comes out and makes an Instagram post and says, "If I have to do 10 times more, I'm gonna do it." Where has that been? We haven't even seen the same version of him from last year. It seems like he's gotten worse. Like there's so many distractions around him, and he feeds into it. And you just gotta focus on football. Like you gotta keep the main thing. And he's over here, you know, talking with fans on social media, like your performances haven't even like led us to believe that you're like in the top 10 in the world currently. Like you're just been snoozing most of the games because you have like one moment, but the rest of the game you're just walking around, pacing around, doing nothing.
Yeah, and to not even rest any of the players and to come out losing is probably a bigger blow, if anything. Like you come out with your strongest 11, which aren't rested against a Valencia team who's been like battling with relegation zone, and you give them the first away win. That's a huge blow to Real Madrid. Like in confidence wise, it's gonna be a blow. Who knows how it'll be in Champions League? They somehow turn up for that, but I don't know if it's gonna be the case this and this match.
But also another problem with Ancelotti is he doesn't do like his substitutions. They they're always late. Like you've never seen Real Madrid do during Ancelotti's tenure, like a 50-minute sub or a 60-minute sub for like besides injury purposes. It's his tacticals or his tactical substitutions always come like the 80th minute. Like why are you doing substitutions so late? Like they're gonna have no effect because it's so hard to get into the game at that point for a substitute. You're expecting a miracle every time.
And so far, a lot of those miracles have happened. But yeah, dude, sooner or later, your luck runs out. Um, but yeah, and Vinny could have easily put that match away. It would have been a different match in the Valencia game if it makes the penalty. But now he misses his third penalty for Real Madrid this season, and it's a crucial one too.
Yeah, and it's becoming annoying because Ancelotti said, "Oh, he gave it to him to help him build confidence," and it just annoyed me so much. And it's difficult because now he's saying that the next penalty taker is Jude. Like, why not just have Mbappe do it?
Yeah, at least give him the chance to fight for the Pichichi or something. But I don't know why. Of course, there's like people bring up clips of Mbappe missing penalties, keeper saving penalties, but still like he beat Debo three times in one game. Like you gotta give it to him. He knows how to take penalties.
Yeah, it's infuriating at this point of why he keeps doing what he's doing. There's
But
no logic or reason to it, really.
yeah, and the frustration got the better of Bellingham. He had to kick the VAR machine. Of course, it's huge, super frustrating. They should have never lost that match. They should have walked away with a draw. But um, I was talking about it with Adu, my brother. And the when Valencia scored the second goal, you can see it. Valverde is probably due to lack of like fitness,
Rest.
I guess, or rest. He doesn't run track back for that ball, for that last second through ball. He lets it go through and puts his hand up thinking it's gonna be offside. It's not offside, crosses it to the goalie, and it's a simple goal. And what I don't like is that the Real Madrid third keeper, he's getting a lot of the flack for it, which
Yeah,
he
that also
shouldn't.
surprised me because like he's coming into a situation that's not, favorable for himself. Both the top two goalkeepers are out with injury. He's coming into an emerging situation, and really, both goals weren't his fault.
Mm-mm.
He did a decent job. I'm not gonna say he did amazing, but
Mhm.
he did what he had to do. The two goals came at times where he couldn't really do much. A lot of people are saying it's if we had Courtois or Lunin those goals wouldn't have come in. Like we don't know that they didn't play. All we know is that he was there, and we can't expect the third choice goalkeeper to come in and just save everything. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah. And it just sucks for him because his confidence is going to get shot instantly, especially with all the flack he's going to get and unnecessary hate. Again, he came in. You guys probably would have, the Real Madrid probably would have had like to play with like fucking Alaba as goalie, Rudiger's, Valverde as goalie or someone. But yeah, it just sucks to see for him. Hopefully he gets his confidence back. I don't think he's going to play for Real Madrid again, like in the first team, just because that's going to like put a stain on that, like on that team in general.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Not gonna disagree on you on that because I know we've been linked to other goalkeepers, and also because Lunen's been linked to leave away, but we can get another backup. But yeah, I he's a young goalie. Maybe he develops somewhere else and becomes good, but
Yeah. Just sucks to see. But yeah, now Real Madrid drops points. Barca had the opportunity to get more points, but we'll talk about that sooner or later. But yeah, Real Madrid drops points. Crucial match. Now they're 4 points behind first place Barcelona.
Yeah.
Uh,
And my other issue with Ancelotti with his ro n no rotations is that it's leading us to have problems in the transfer market because we've been heavily linked to Dean Huijsen. I've been advocating for us to get him because I think he's one of the best young center backs in Europe currently, but he's being discouraged, rightly so, because Ancelotti does not know how to develop young players or use them, as we've seen clearly with Arda Güler and Endrick for Güler past 2 seasons and this season for Endrick. Like they haven't gotten the game time that they should have, and especially the time to develop.
yeah, he hasn't at all. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. If he does get transferred to Real Madrid, does he bench Rudiger? No. Does he bench Asensio? Probably not, because he kind of earned a right in the first team. And again, we brought up rotations. He doesn't rotate. Is he going to put Dean Huijsen in a rotational spot? Probably not. So yeah, it's very hard for any even player to go there because on top of that, they're getting Eder Militao back. But again, I told you he's not gonna be the same player he once was.
Yeah, I don't think he's the same player. I think the only way he reaches a similar level is if he adapts and becomes a new player profile because he heavily relied on his athleticism to be the center back that he was.
Hmm.
And after two straight ACL injuries, he's not going to be the same.
Yeah,
He can't rely on that anymore. He has to become smarter. He has to raise his IQ and play a different type of football.
yeah, and that's his third ACL actually injury.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't see where Højgård gets involved in the plans. Um, it's just a tough situation unless he like adapts and plays like right back, backup right back or something like that. Because I know they are looking to find a replacement for Lucas Vasquez because I don't think Lucas Vasquez is enough. But yeah, it's just hard. I wouldn't want to go there if I was a young developing center back.
Yeah, it's annoying. I know there's been recent talks of, sacking him and then getting another coach, but until it happens, it's just speculative.
But even then, say they do sack him, bring Xabi Alonso. What are the chances there's no pressure from the top, like in telling
Yeah.
him to play Rudiger? Like I think Rudiger is like not moving at center back ever.
Well, yeah, Xabi Alonso has come out and said, yeah, he knows that the the control he has over at Bayern Leverkusen is going to be completely different if he ever does go to Real Madrid,
Mhm.
because even though if he advocates for a certain player or things like that, that's not always going to align with what the board wants. And also the transfer policies probably can be different because he's not going to have the same, sway in choosing his players.
Yeah. So it's an interesting scenario. But now Jesse, you got to predict the who's gonna come out on top on the first match and what's the score gonna be.
It's obviously going to be Real Madrid. And, some people might just say this is bias speaking, but, it's not that. There's some a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit going into it, and especially my hatred towards Arsenal. But they've just recently lost Gabriel for the rest of the season.
Mhm.
Kiwior is gonna be put into there because Calafiori is also injured. They have a good amount of injuries, and they still rely on Mikel Merino to, carry them up front. So I'll give it, knowing our defense and especially what the supposed league lineup is, I'll give it 3-2.
Real Madrid. Okay.
Yes.
Um, this is no bias now. I've been saying it this whole season. Real Madrid has no depth. Same thing with Arsenal has no depth. But right now, Arsenal did the better job in rotations, and I think they're gonna be a fresher squad coming out against Real Madrid. And they got their key set piece taker back, Saka. So they're gonna be corner merchants and probably score two corners. So I got uh Arsenal winning 4-2. I don't think Arsenal's gonna. You know what? No, give it back because I think Arsenal has a really good defense. That's one thing I do praise Arteta for his defense. I don't praise him for saying he plays flying football because he clearly does not.
The defense chair, you expect Kiwior to step in and be really good defensively. And also they're projected to start what's his name? The red kid merchant? The red card merchant?
Oh, Skelly,
Yeah. You expect him to not make another mistake after he has shown what he's done this past or this season?
give me 3-1 Arsenal.
That's yeah, nobody, sure, nobody.
No fit, dude. Real Madrid is lacking fitness right now, dude, and it's gonna catch up to him. Like this match against Valencia should have been easy rotations and an easy win. It clearly wasn't,
Yeah.
and it sucks for them because yeah, you think Alaba's gonna be able to handle Saka? Alaba's fucking ACL is probably gonna get blown out again, sadly, because he's gonna have to defend that man. And if he's starting at left back, it's chalk, Jesse. I'm telling you right now. Ancelotti's probably gonna have to sub him out because of that.
Honestly, that's where I have the two goals coming from.
From Alaba, Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. I think Arsenal is just their fitness level. That's what I'm going with is fitness levels right now, and Arsenal clearly has it because they're not winning the league. They rotated. Real Madrid did it. Yeah, it's shocked. This is what Arsenal's playing for right now, and it's the Champions League.
Yeah, and they're not getting it either. It's
I don't think
Arsenal.
they'll win it, but are they gonna be Real Madrid? Yeah. Is this the best Real Madrid? No. Best Real Madrid we could have right now? No. Um, yeah, dude, it's a tough situation. But yeah, moving on. We have the same day it's Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan, and
Inter.
they're playing in the San Siro.
Nope. Alliance Arena.
The Alliance Arena. Oh my God, yeah. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts going into the
Uh,
match? Both teams, I think, no, none of the teams rotated this weekend. Both of them won their matches, but yeah.
I think I'm I come in, with a bias against Bayern Munich, but I think I'll bias aside for this match. I'll give my edge to Inter solely because Bayern Munich's best player was injured this past weekend, and Jamal Musiala, and that's going to cut drastically into the creativity and uh of the Bayern Munich side and even scoring because he has been, scoring and creating for Bayern a lot this season.
Yeah, the difference maker was Musiala. I'm with you. I think Inter Milan's gonna win this match. I'll probably like a 2-0 or something like that. But yeah, it's a huge blow to Bayern Munich losing Musiala. Like their whole creativity, I think, is shut down because he was such a vertical threat. He could take on two or three players in that middle and then combine with like one of the wingers or something like that. But having that out, creative outlet out, it's gonna rely heavily on the wingers. Sane, we know what he is. He hasn't been too great. It's kind of chalked. And then they have a lot of injuries too. There's not just Musiala. They have
Yeah,
many more.
yeah, their two center backs are Umecampo and Ito, who they got. So it's projected they're two starting center backs. I think the only ones they have is Eric Dyer and
Hmm.
Min Jae Kim, who have both struggled.
I'm still
Uh,
here.
yeah, for this past couple like seasons. Kim has rebounded better, but he's so prone to mistake. And Manuel Neuer is also expected to be out with a calf injury, so their backup Orbig is supposed to start. So that's also doesn't bring a lot of confidence to the team.
Yeah, especially with an Inter Milan that's just so heavily experienced, dude. I think what is the average age is like 30 years old for the whole squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially handling that duo threat of Thuram and what's it called, Lautaro Martinez is so difficult, dude. Like Lautaro I think he has like a somewhat of a similar profile as Harry Kane. He could drop back and create and transport the ball from the midfield. It's a hard thing to defend, so it's gonna be a huge test. And then on top of that, Thuram is just very athletically built. It's gonna be hard for like they're gonna have to have one center back playing on him because more than likely they're gonna play him as a post.
Yeah, but I think the biggest disparity is gonna be on the outside on the wings
Hmm.
because Alfonso Davies is out with injury, so I think they're playing Stanisic at left back,
Hmm.
and he's just gonna get cooked by Inter's wing backs because they're like I don't know if it's Dumfries or Darmian that's starting, but they've been known to like just destroy good defenders, and now they have a backup, someone that's playing left back out of necessity, not because that's their natural position.
Hmm.
And also, I think Limer's also starting at right back, so DiMarco's gonna have a day with him.
And Limer has performed well at right back, but yeah, with DiBarco, he's a really fucking underrated center back. I mean, center back, left wing back. No one really talks about him, but knowing how he plays, we've both seen matches with him. He's incredible, to be honest, dude. He's just constant. He has that engine and just constantly running up and down that flank, and he
A-
defends well too.
And his defense is like, I think he's probably the best defensive left wing back in the world, but his offense is so good as well.
I think
So
they
I
had
think
the best like fullback duo
with
this
Dumfries and
season.
DiMarco,
Because they
yeah,
both attack well and they both defend well.
yeah, and they're both engines. They both run like the entire game. So I think it's just gonna be so tough for Bayern Munich.
Hmm. We'll see how they come out in the Alliance Arena. The Alliance Arena is going to play a factor, but I think they're going to miss Musiala way too much. And Harry Kane, unless he gets a penalty goal, which he's been getting all season, um, they're going to struggle. But again, they have shut us up against, especially with Leverkusen. We thought Leverkusen was going to steamroll them.
Yeah. But I think this time's the odds are so stacked against them because my biggest thing is who they put in to replace Musiala and that spot. Because if they've put Mueller and Kane have shown that they
Mm.
don't play well together because they both want to occupy the same space. So they might, struggle with that. So I wonder how they line up against Inter.
Yeah, it's gonna be such a difficult match, and especially with those wingbacks, I don't think Vincent Kompany is gonna have enough balls to send his fullbacks up to attack. So it's gonna be they're gonna try to defend as much as possible and try to get a 1-0 goal or something, a lead or win. But no, I think Inter Milan is gonna be too difficult because even like the past three Champions League, they've been they've been fighting, dude.
Yeah, they both, what was it?
They went to
The
one final against Man City.
and then last year they made it to like the
Mhm.
semifinal again, and then the 3 years
It-
before that again a semifinal, I believe.
yeah. So
So like,
dude, they've been there. They have the experience, and they could be a team that could take it all the way back to the final.
yeah, I think the only way Bayern even gets a result is if a company comes in with like a tactical masterclass, which he hasn't done, but he might. But that's the only way I really see it.
Well, he did come out with the tactical masterclass against Leverkusen, bro. You got to give him his credit. But
No, but
we'll
I
see if
said,
he could do it against them.
yeah, but I said like hasn't done it like regularly.
True. And especially it's because he had the upper hand with Leverkusen because he's been facing them this season. I think they already faced them twice. So he kind of knew what to expect going into that match. But with this one, it's like you can see the video all you want, but playing them is a whole different thing.
Yeah, having those wing backs run at you is a different sight.
Mm. But yeah, so you said you got Inter Milan.
Yes.
What's the score like?
I think I'll give it 3-1. Maybe, cheeky Kane penalty because, feel bad for him.
I have Inter Milan winning 2-0. They keep a clean sheet. You have one of the best shot stoppers in Jan Sommer. But I don't know how much attack they're gonna actually build up.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to Wednesday, we have our my favorite match is the Barcelona mount one. It's Borussia Dortmund versus Barcelona.
Yeah.
Now, Jesse, Dortmund didn't well, they rotated somewhat this past weekend. They won the game against what was it, Augsburg? No, they Bayern Munich faced Augsburg. They
They
won.
played Freiburg
They played Freiburg. They won their match.
4-1.
And Barcelona played their match this past weekend too. They beat Atletico Madrid midweek in the Copa del Rey, and they faced Real Betis, and they sadly came out with a tie.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it sucked, dude, because they could have had the 6 point lead gap on Real Madrid.
Yeah, none of us wants the lead, Jerry. Throughout the season, we've all had moments to take big leads and we've all dropped points.
But hey, dude, I'll take it, bro. Whatever. At least it's a point we could have lost, but we got a point. It increases the gap, so we get that little filler of like tying against someone. Um, but yeah, bro, it is just so difficult. That match was it could have been a lot easier, but there was no finishing involved. Lamine Yamal was kind of lackluster. I said it, and my brother has said it that the minutes is kind of getting to him and it's making him play bad. He should have been rested for this match. And then Rafinha came in the match too. Kind of raged afterwards because apparently the linesman told him to shut up.
Yeah.
So he was having that tantrum. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended. But yeah, it was very small rotations, like on some key players. But we'll see how it comes out in the Dortmund match. Lamine Yamal is starting, and I am worried about him to see how he's gonna play because again, it's just too many games on him.
Didn't you also say you also hope to see Pedri rotate because he's also been playing a lot of minutes? You
Yeah, he's been rotated a little bit, so he hasn't been playing the full 90 minutes, which is great. Even this past weekend, he only played I think 70 minutes. Again, still a decent chunk of minutes, but it's their own doing, dude. They couldn't finish out the match against Betis. They could have easily been up a couple goals. Then we gave up that one goal for because Araujo didn't jump. He decided to just hold the player and not contest it. And Chesney couldn't react on time because well the post players are right there. You would think your center back would also contest it and the ball wouldn't even
nah,
come through. But
nah.
yeah, it's just he couldn't really do much. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting match. They're playing in Germany for the first match right now.
Nope. You guys are home.
Yeah, so we gotta get a huge lead to be honest. I'm hoping for them to win by at least 3 goals. So we when we go to Germany, because again, it's not an easy place to play. We
Yeah.
could just trade at that point. You score a goal, I score a goal. You score a goal, I score a goal, just to make it difficult on them as much as possible.
Yeah. For this one, I said I think I hope for a draw. Uh, this is more of a dream than anything because Dortmund have not shown much this year at all. Even with the replacement coach, they're still struggling. I think they're like what, eighth in the league. Uh, yeah, I honestly I think at this point they just gotta hope for a draw and then go back to Signal Iduna Park and hope the yellow wall helps them get that win. But for this home game for Barca, I think they just gotta get that one.
Yeah. And it's gonna be interesting because the first time they faced each other this year in the Champions League or this season, it was a different coach. Now we have Niko Kovac. And I'll tell you an interesting stat. At Bayern Munich, when Niko Kovac was the manager, his assistant was Hansi Flick. So they both have each other's like kind of tactical sheets in mind. At least Flick has more of Niko Kovac as being an assistant. So we'll see what the tactical genius Hansi Flick comes out with, and hopefully he comes out with a good plan and just dismantles that team. Because as a as an assistant coach, you have to know what his preferences are and his play style is, and where he's vulnerable at.
Who knows? That was like 5 years ago. People learn, adapt, and grow. So hopefully Kovac has something up his sleeve because I think that's the only way to get out with like a draw at most, which is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. And it's a Champions League night too, so Rafinha's gonna have to come out on top and firing. So it's been interesting. I think someone pointed it out. Um, Lewandowski has been our main goal scorer for the league. Lamine Yamal has been one of our main goal scorers for the no, Ferran
Cup
Torres has been
for
the main
the
goal
cup
scorer for the cup. And then Rafinha has been the main goal scorer for the Champions League. So expect a Rafinha masterclass, hopefully.
or
And
not.
you never know. But yeah, he's been dealing with like an injury, but he's slowly been coming back and has been getting rested. So I'm relying a lot of Rafinha sprints.
Does hold up. Does Dortmund have any Argentinians in the squad?
Not that I can think of. They have
Uh,
English, they have German,
no.
German. And then
They have,
Sabitzer just got injured this past weekend too.
yeah, I was hoping they had an Argentinian to make Rafinha lose his head, but never mind.
Yeah, what's your take, Jesse? You said 0-0.
Yeah, no, no. I think 1-1, 1-1.
I got Barcelona winning 3-0.
I think that's what they need to get. I think that's what Barca needs to get before they go to the yellow wall. Because over there, it's different. No matter what anyone says, a Champions League night at Borussia Dortmund hits different.
And
And
we've
you
played there and
just,
we've come out on top.
well, that's what you guys need a big lead this time.
Yeah, again, I would be super comfortable, and I'm pretty sure the Barca squad would be super comfortable with a 3-0 win. You just gotta build up the lead as much as possible because yeah, playing away, it's again, you're more than likely you're gonna have to keep trading
Yeah.
goals. But yeah, and our last match being the
PSG
PSG versus
versus
Aston Villa.
Villa.
I think the most lackluster game out of all of them,
I think
just
that's,
because PSG has won the league already.
yeah, they've won the league, so they can rest and do whatever they want. But also, I think it's probably the biggest mismatch out of any of them because even though Dortmund and Barca is a mismatch, I think, still playing Dortmund at home like somewhat like helps. But with Aston Villa, there's no aura in their home stadium. And also PSG is just so talented this year. Probably the most talented squad out of any of them.
Especially like their bench, dude. What's his name? Dokure? Or Dure?
Dure, I think so. Let me.
Doku. That left winger is just insane, bro.
Yeah, I told you, dude. He's so good.
He's so
Uh,
good. So like, say
do it.
fucking do it. If say like Kvaratskhelia isn't working out on the left wing, just put in do it. He'll probably take on three people. Like we saw what he did against Liverpool in both legs. So
Yeah. And then it's crazy because even if that's not there, they still have Kangin Lee, Bradley Barcola, like, and then the biggest of them all, Ousmane Dembele, who's still carrying on his incredible form. Like, it's so scary that front line. And then that's not even the best part of the team because that midfield is, the best in the world, I'd say.
yeah. So oh, I don't know about the best, but I think I love their the defensive mid partnership.
They're you don't think their trio's the best in the world?
No, you gotta. What about Barca's, bro?
I'd take PSG's over
No,
though.
I would say PSG's right now because Barca's been changing throughout the course of the whole season. So yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know how Aston Villa's gonna come out on top. It's only a matter of how many goals they're gonna stop because they do have a great keeper in Dibu, but again, it's how many goals are you gonna stop, dude?
Listen, Debo can be like a great keeper, but that offense is different. Like, no matter how much he tries to stop, there's going to be goals in that net.
Yeah, so I wonder, yeah, because PSG rested players. Doué obviously played, but even then, I don't know. Like Villa didn't rest many of their players either. They had to go all out for the league to try to like at least secure like a European champions. What the fuck am I saying? A
Uh,
European spot.
Well,
Um,
they lost one and they won one, right? They
mhm.
they beat Nottingham Forest, and then who did they lose to? Fulham, I want to say.
Yeah, they lost against Fulham. So yeah, one team's rested, the other one isn't. It's gonna be a tough game. But I have PSG just coming out on top. I don't see anyone stopping them.
Yeah, I think PSG. I think there might be a tinge of upset, especially knowing Emery's track record, especially in European competitions. But the juggernaut that is PSG currently, I just don't see it.
I have PSG winning it 4-0.
Is the first match at Parc des Princes?
I
Yes.
couldn't even guess.
Yeah. I go in the similar vein of 3-0.
Yeah, tough matches. Oh man, it just sucks. This is where Villa's run comes to an end. Again, they have a great attack, but the defense is like the one that's like iffy because I like Matson. I don't know how Mings is gonna do against like a high pressure situation, especially with this smart PSG attacking trio. And the other center back, we'll see how he does.
Yep, Pau Torres, but it's been Disasi recently, so
Is it recording now? Thank you, Zoom. All right, guys. So yeah, we recorded again the second whole part of this whole podcast, and it said recording in our screen. It said this meeting was recording. We go to finish it, recorded 6 seconds. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of run down through the predictions that we have for this week and not go in depth because we literally just saw that it's gonna be in the hidden files. So
another Hidden Files.
yeah. We already predicted the first four matches in the first part of the video, which was Champions League. We're gonna go through Europa League next. Lyon versus Manchester United.
We both went with Lyon.
Then it's
Spurs
Tottenham
Frankfurt.
versus Frankfurt.
I went with Spurs. Jerry went with Frankfurt.
Hmm.
Leganes versus Barca.
I got Barcelona.
I went with the draw.
Then it's their Klassiker, uh, Bayern Munich versus Dortmund. They're playing in the Alliance Arena. I got
I,
Bayern.
I went with Dortmund for agendas. And then we have Real Madrid versus Alaves,
I got Alaves.
and I went with Madrid.
Then we have Atalanta versus Bologna.
I went with the draw.
I got Bologna.
And then we have the Roman Derby, Roma versus Lazio, and I went with Roma.
I got Lazio. Then we have Manchester United versus Newcastle.
We both went Newcastle.
And lastly, our last Premier League match is on Monday, and it's Bournemouth versus Fulham. I went Fulham.
I went Bournemouth, but we also Atletico versus Valladolid.
Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Jerry went with the Atletico win, and I went with the draw.
So yeah, guys, sorry it's not longer. Blame Zoom.
Yeah, honestly.
So
Also, we said or Jerry said you should probably bet for a red card in that Roman derby because it's known to get scrappy.
yeah, bet on a red card because yeah, this is gonna be a red card for sure. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace.
Peace.
I'm literally so pissed.